Hello everybody, it's time to get going on lesson number 10, which is really lesson number 2 in our JollyRogerUkulele.com series. We'll talk about what things you might have missed in the previous lesson and anything, all the different paperwork and so on available on the website, all the good stuff, all of the stuff that's going to take some work. And so let me go post this link over here on the website. These lessons are shorter. I'm trying to do this series saying less words and being so it's about a 20-minute lesson probably, and main thing what we'll be really focusing in on today is making sure that Frere Jacques is coming together for you, and then we're going to move on to strumming in the key of A and how to think about that, how to do it, how to teach it, all of that good stuff. So let me make sure that this link is posted properly, and that'll get people in here. Small showings of people coming to the lessons because we're in the middle of the day and it's the only time that I can get it squeezed into my schedule, and so that's perfectly fine. Plus a lot of people have already been through exactly what we're going to be talking about now. We have a lot of people who are playing in this style, and so they're already doing stuff. Today we're going to work a little bit on strumming and how to think about chords. And of course that's always in the ukulele world, it's a little bit overly emphasized how important strumming is, and I'll try to put that into some perspective today. Let's see, it is 1 o'clock, so we'll go ahead and get started. I have put in the put us on Twitter, put us on the website. Today you want to download and if you're logging in here, please open up Frere Jacques, both your ukulele version and your baritone version, because we're going to talk about how to play in duets as well as how to just play, right? And then we will also be moving on then into straight strumming and singing. Okay, and I'm a terrible singer, but you'll get the big idea. The video is skippy right now, as Vic just logged in and she says the video is skipping. I'm over at the studio, and for some reason I thought, let's test the Wi-Fi and see how it's doing, and it's not doing that great. So tomorrow I will make sure to be logged in or when we get together. Oh yeah, tomorrow morning I'll make sure to be using a higher quality hookup. I'm used to the video being choppy downstairs, but up here in the office I actually have a hard wire that I can use, and I just didn't plug into it for whatever goofy reason. So video may be skippy. Hopefully the sound is clear, and really the video, there's nothing to watch on the video except me, and so there's no reason to watch that either. So let's take a look at Frere Jacques. I'm gonna the instrument that is closest to my body at the moment is a ukulele. So if you have a ukulele, if you are playing on ukulele, you are going to be playing the same thing as me. If you're playing on a baritone, you'll be playing something. If you're playing on a baritone, you want to play in the key of A. Okay, so on baritone, index, middle, and ring. Okay, that's the chord that you're going to be using on baritone. For ukulele, first we're going to play with the melody, and then we'll go back through and we'll try it with chords. Okay, so first off, remember looking at the ukulele sheet music, you're looking at the tablature line. It says 0240 0240 457 457 797 540 797 540 0 0 0 0 0 0. That's the line you're looking at. That's the line you're going to focus in on. Once at that, and guys, if you've been around a while, that should be something that's memorized, right? That's in your head, because you're going to want to teach your next door neighbor or your friend or your grandkids or your grandparents how to play properly. Biggest takeaways from Tuesday is, number one, make sure your ukulele is positioned like such. You want to have, let me get that out of the way, 45, 50, 60 degree angle. This is where your ukulele should be. Your thumb stays behind the neck. We never see your thumb. There's no reason ever to show your thumb. And your thumb is also then going to hang out behind your middle finger. So if your middle finger's down here, your thumb's down here, and if you're here, and so on. right? So that's what's going to be happening with your thumb. What we don't want is for you to be doing these weird stretches where your thumb's way back here and your pinky's way down here. That's never going to fly. You're never going to be fast enough if you play it that way. Hey Nancy, welcome in from Florida. She's got a baritone, you guys, so she'll be playing the A chord on her baritone. And Sandy's in. Sandy also has a baritone. Good afternoon. 23 degrees and snow up in upper Michigan. Can you imagine? All right. Guys, if you're on ukulele, I would like for you to play melody with me. And if you are on baritone, I'd like you to play chords. From the top, 1, 2, 3, 4. Oh, 2, 4, oh, oh, 2, 4, oh, 4, 5, 7, 4, 5, 7. 7, 9, 7, 5, 4, oh. First string, second string, first string, second string, first string. Do it again. Go. I didn't put the chord in at the end. Would have sounded better. Ding, dang. Okay, that's how you're really supposed to end it. Forgot, don't have the sheet music in front of me because I'm stupid. Now, what you just learned is not unimportant. Okay, you're learning how to hold the ukulele. You're learning how to handle your left hand correctly. Just using your thumb right now to pluck with. Those are all big topics. Like, those are foundational. Like, if we can get that right, everything else is going to be pretty straightforward for you. So that's what we're after. And notice when we got to the fast part, 7, 9, 7, 5, 4, oh, I played it at full speed. So if you kept up at all, you're doing great. If you did not keep up, spend a little bit more time on it. Your goal is, and one of the things about keeping up is when we're here together, this is why you get good playing this way, is that you're playing with me. Everything we do, we play as a duet. When you're at home, you can slow things down, speed things up, adjust them, forget that you make a mistake and that sort of thing, which is that's a healthy thing to do anyway, is forget that you made mistakes. But the problem with playing by yourself is that we don't get good timing, and when you're playing with me, you have to have good timing because I'll leave you behind, right? So if you got left behind, that's normal. Spend a little bit more time studying that and working on that. And then we will be playing Farajaka often as we go forward. And so if this is going well for you, good job. If not, keep working on it. Let's take one moment to run through. You get to hear me sing. It's always a rough situation. Baritone players, stick with your A chord. Ukulele players, grab your A chord. Index finger here, middle finger here. Yesterday I talked about using 4 fingers. Thumb above the G string, index underneath the C string, middle finger underneath the E string, and ring finger underneath the A string. And then to make the sound, you just collapse them. Okay, here we go. 1, 2, hey Don, 3, 4. Are you sleeping? Are you sleeping? Brother John, Brother John. Morning bells are ringing, morning bells are ringing. Ding, dang, dong, ding, dang, dong. Now make your right hand go twice as fast. 1, 2, 3, 4. Sorry, I was going to change the words. 1, 2, 3, 4. Frère Jacques, Frère Jacques, dormez-vous, dormez-vous. Sonnez les matines, sonnez les matines. Ding, dang, dong, ding, dang. And then put a thumb thumb strum on the end. Dum. Okay. So we're going to talk a little bit more about different ways to attack your chords later here in just a minute. All right. So that's what you should get off of Frere Jacques. One, how to play melody, and once you learn that, once you understand how that's working on tablature, you can play all fretted instruments. You can play banjo, you can play mandolin, you can play all of them, because tablature is always written exactly the same way, and so that's exciting. All right, now let's take a look at baritone. If you do not own a baritone, which most of you do not, that's okay. Right? We're going to have the baritone be take the melody. And you on ukulele are going to be making an E chord. Okay, your E chord, and this is important because it's going to come up. You take this finger, we're going to cross everybody on the 4th fret. And by the way, you're looking at the baritone sheet music at this moment because we're switching activities. E chord for ukulele players is a bar on 4, so put that down. And then when you first start doing bars, they're going to sound like this. Okay, that's okay. Right? Squeeze a little harder when it comes in. Okay? And then pinky up on 7. Okay? That's your chord. And you're just going to do 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. If it's sounding like this, that's fine. That's what it's going to sound like in the beginning. The longer you play, the better that's going to get. Okay? Alright, here we go. I'm going to do baritone melody. Baritone players, you're on melody. Ukulele players on the E chord. Here we go. 1, 2, ready, play. 0, 2, 4, 0, 0, 2, 4, 0, 4, 5, 7, 4, 5, 7, 7, 9, 7, 5, 4, 7, 9, 7, 5, 4, 0. First string, second string, first string, first string, second string, first string again. Are you sleeping? Are you sleeping? Brother John, Brother John. Morning bells are ringing, morning bells are ringing, ding, ding, dong. Second ending, ding, ding, dong. Isn't that nice? Okay. And because I don't have the paper in front of me, I'm assuming that's what's on the paper. I hope it is. I'm going to pull over the paper and make sure that I'm not making you guys go crazy with the wrong stuff. All right, so Frere Jacques, it's not unimportant, guys. I've never not taught that. It's that important. And so what I want to do is make sure that you feel comfortable with that. If you're fighting it at all, it's normal to fight it, and so it's not like you're some sort of delinquent that we can't talk to anymore. What it is important is, oh good, and we do have a first second ending. The thing with Frere Jacques is teaches you how to play melody, teaches you how to read tablature, teaches you how to keep good timing, teaches you 2 separate chords and thinking about playing with other people in a duet situation. Teaches you French, so all of that's very, very positive, that we're going to use all of that information going forward to build you a really strong skill set. If you are going to teach somebody, this is what I would start with. I have lots and lots of teachers here in Denver who've learned from me. We all start with this because it's that important. Once you've got this, once players have that, then you bring in the chords, okay? And that's what we're going to do next, okay? So let's go grab this little booklet. This is lesson number 10 in your list on the ukulele and baritone page. And the little book doesn't matter if you have the baritone version, if you have the ukulele version, or if you have the guitar version. They're all exactly the same. Now, for those of you who are of a certain age, you'll probably know every song in here. You know Three Blind Mice, Row, Row, Row Your Boat, Danny Boy, Five Little Monkeys, Old MacDonald, right? These are old-fashioned songs that nobody sings anymore, but they used to be sung a lot because they're actually really good for teaching you music. if you have a little kid you're going to teach in life, they probably don't know any of these songs, and you get the joy of sharing these old songs with them. And it's not like these are going away, right? They are not as, these days kids learn how to sing off of Disney songs, which is crazy, but that's what they're doing. And so these songs give you a chance to share something that you know from your days, and learn how to strum and sing. Okay, so now be clear, I'm a terrible singer, and I can prove it. I have it on my transcript. More importantly, though, is that when a lot of people buy a ukulele, they think they're going to be playing this style, and most people do. The problem with this style is you get stuck. You learn your chords and you sing, and after about 6 months is just more of the same. It never changes. It's just, here's your chords, here's the words, sing. If you don't like singing, if you're iffy on singing, there's so much more to do on this instrument, and that's what we teach here. Okay, but it's not. But singing and strumming is a part of our culture, and it's something I want you to be able to do. So we're about to learn some of the basics. Okay, we already studied A chord. If you're on ukulele, it looks like this. On baritone, it looks like this, and I have a baritone in my hand. So I will be playing the baritone shapes. You play the shapes I'm teaching. Okay, in fact, at least initially here, let's switch to this. So if you are on ukulele, which most of you are, this is what I want you to hold, your A chord. Okay? And then baritone players, if you'll hold your A, which looks like this. Let's sing Three Blind Mice at the bottom of the page, okay? And again, pluck everything. Okay? Forward. 1, 2, ready, play. 3 blind mice, 3 blind mice, see how they run, see how they run. They all ran after the farmer's wife. She cut off their tails with a carving knife. Have you ever seen such a sight in your life as 3 blind mice? Now this is one of the reasons why we like to use plucking, because then you can fancy things up. If you're strumming, you're stuck strumming, but if you're using these 4 fingers to pluck, you can make it sound fancier. 3 blind mice, 3 blind mice, see how they run. And it sounds fancy right off the bat. It makes you sound like, oh geez, I'm a heck of a player. If I'm grabbing my A chord on the ukulele, maybe I'll do it backwards. 3 blind mice, 3 blind mice, see how they run. Right? Doesn't that sound fancy? It makes you sound cool. There are other ways to do it, of course. You can take your index finger, go straight down, which is how most people learn. 3 blind mice, 3 blind mice. Yeah, it gets very boring very fast, but it's a one way to play. You can also come back up, which I did at the end there, down with make sure your nail is facing the ground pretty much. And then your pad of your index finger can strum coming up. That way you have kind of a harsh sound going down and a soft sound coming up. Hey Robin. 3 blind mice, 3 blind mice, see how they run, see how they run. That works out pretty well for most of the time when you see people strumming and singing. That's how they're doing it. Okay. The other one is your thumb. This is very, very handy, and it's something you'll use a lot. It's just straight, plain old beautiful down strum with your thumb. And you'll notice most of the time when I'm strumming, I am most of the time where the body and the neck come together. That's usually around fret number 12. It has the prettiest sound on ukulele. It gives the most sustain, what little sustain we have on this instrument. It's going to give you a nice, pretty tone. Okay, so let's try thumb down. Here we go. 1, 2, ready, try. 3 blind mice, 3 blind mice, see how they run, see how they run. They all ran after the farmer that's what you're going to do a lot of that. Now, here's why I don't teach that a ton, because out there in the world, if you go log into YouTube and you start looking for ukulele instruction, though it's littered for decades now with that type of stuff, and so you'll have no problem chasing that down. If you're a singer and you want to strum a song, it's out there. The one thing I caution you on is that there are people out there who will tell you there's a certain strum pattern for a certain song. There are two truths to that. One, if you want to play Somewhere Over the Rainbow exactly the way Israel did it, then you have to do his strum pattern. You're not going to be able to sing like Israel, so I'm not even sure why you're trying to do that. But there is this very specific strum pattern for that. And the other one is George Formby on banjolele out of England. He has a very specific strum pattern. Everything else is completely artist choice. So when you go to someplace and say, here's the strum pattern for this song, they're doing it for that moment in time, but there's no official strum pattern for any song ever. So don't get into this notion that there's a right way and a wrong way to strum. The one thing with strumming is you do want to focus in on the beat. You'll notice with Three Blind Mice, sometimes it's three blind mice, right? And then there's a little pause there, and then it's again, three blind mice, pause. See how they run. So we're mixing up quarter notes and half notes, and so you want to not let your strumming be affected by that. You're still in 4/4 time. Three blind mice strum. Three blind mice strum. See how they run. See how they run. Okay, so you're keeping a nice steady pace. And that doesn't change when you're strumming. Strumming is about keeping the beat correct and then you singing over the top of the beat. Most of the time when I have singers come into the studio here and they say, hey, I got to get better at strumming, what they got to stop doing is try to strum along with the melody. What they really want to do is get good at strumming on the beat, and then it's easy to sing over the top of that. And so that's really what we work on when a singer comes in looking for that type of information. Now, let's talk about the other chords in this book very quickly. We're going to wrap up, and this will be your homework for the week. Okay, so on ukulele now, here's your A chord. Okay, your F sharp minor. It's only in a couple places in the book, but I want you to know it. Is your ring finger comes down here. Okay, so the A stays the same. Don't lift it up. Just put your ring finger down, and you've got a F sharp minor. Okay. Now, from that space, don't move your ring finger. Just flop over your index and move your index over one fret and your middle finger down a string. Boom, and you're on your D chord. Okay? And then from your D chord, don't get crazy, right? Just push your index finger back and drop your ring finger. Now you have E7. And then go right back to A from middle finger up, ring index finger down. Okay, so we're going to go real slow. Try this right on the front page here. A, F sharp minor, D, and E7. We'll stop on A. Real slow. 1, 2, 3, 4. A, 2, change to F sharp minor. F sharp minor, 2, change to D. D, 2, change to E7. Back to A. 2, 3, F sharp minor, 2, 3, off to D, and D, 2, 3, 4, E7, 2, and then finish up on A. Okay, and you'll notice when I'm strumming, I'll do all sorts of goofy stuff over here with my right hand because it sounds better if you are creative with your right hand. Your goal for the weekend. Okay, you're doing a 1960s chord progression or late 50s chord progression. A, F sharp minor, D, and E7. In theory class at school this semester, they gave us a very specific name for this chord progression, and as goofy, it's just a chord progression, but it's very useful if you're in 1958. This is going to be super helpful for you. Okay, and if you're on baritone, you're going to do exactly the same thing. Here's your A chord. Here's your F sharp minor. Here's your D. Here's your E7. Let's do it. Now, if you're on whatever instrument's in your hand, just do your chords now. 1, 2, ready, play. A, 2, 3, F sharp minor, bum, 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 go to D, bum, bum, bump, and E7, A7, and finish up on an A. Okay, your goal is to get it that smooth. Obviously, when you first encounter these chords, it's not going to be smooth. Why don't I teach C chord first? Most ukulele teachers will teach you C, A minor, F, and then you have a nightmare with what we're going to call G chord coming up, I don't teach that because I've learned that it's a very bad way to approach this subject. So we start with A chord. The other nice thing, A chord is very comfortable on ukulele, it's very comfortable on baritone, and it's very comfortable in guitar, and it's not terrible on piano. So A chord is a very, very pleasant place for all of the instruments to get together. Now you have a 34 song book here. Okay, if you printed it out correctly, you printed it out double-sided, short edge binding. I can't emphasize that enough. If you don't click short edge binding, they come out. Every other page is upside down. But if you click short edge binding, then that comes out as a little booklet. Okay, what you should know, I have mine copies in black and white, but what you should know is that if there is a red headline, that's a 1-chord song. If it's a green headline, it's a 2-chord song. If it's a blue headline, it's a 3-chord song. And if it's a purple headline, it has all 4 chords in there. What I want you to do over the weekend, you got plenty of time to work on this. You you can come, obviously tomorrow morning at 9 a.m. we're going to do the new music class, and so if you are around at that time of whatever time it is needing you, come play the hard stuff with us, right? We got an easier song and then 2 pretty challenging songs for tomorrow, it'll give you a chance to work on chords if nothing else, and also it'll give you a chance to continue playing melody if you're newer. Those of you who've been around a while, you probably want to dig those songs out and work on them this evening. It's going to eat us alive tomorrow. But out of this book, what I want you to do is I want you to play through everything. I want you to find those songs you don't know. You come in to class, say, hey, I have never ever heard of Kookaburra, right? Which is possible if you're not a Girl Scout. If you're a Girl Scout, 99% chance you have heard of Kookaburra. Don't be shy about going and checking out on YouTube. If you look at a few of these versions, we will play next week some of the songs, okay? And these are songs that I'd like you to be able to competently get through all 34 of them as you're moving forward. And so you got a nice book. This is one of my favorite things I ever created. It's chords and it's singing and it's strumming, but it is a chance for you to have something that's really easy to make copies of and hand out to other people, and to just practice your speed and your chord jerk drills and that sort of thing. So homework for the weekend. 1, continue to play for a Jaka until that gets smooth. 2, play every song in this book. It tells you exactly where to change the chords. Most of them are exactly the way you remember it. A few of them have some minor differences. Lime and a Coconut is a little bit different, so we'll probably play some of these next week. And then, if you're available at 9 a.m. Denver time tomorrow, we're going to tackle the advanced material. And so that for all of you, as I'm looking and logged in, that's for you. And then for those of you who are newer, you kind of have to decide, why not? There's no law you can't sit in on the advanced class, right? You absolutely can. And to call it an advanced class is a misnomer, because it's just sometimes it'll be easy stuff, but some of it's really, really painfully difficult. So there's that. All right, guys. My plan is each day is to actually disconnect the stream and start a new stream for the 1:30 class. So in the next class at 1:30, we're going to be talking about, what are we talking about? I should know this without having to go look it up. We will be talking about. Oh goodness, I'm on the wrong page. What are we doing next hour? Next half hour, we are going to go grab Kumbaya. Oh, how fun. All right, so we're going to play Kumbaya next. So I'm going to disconnect this stream, and I'll see all of you. By the way, if you're new here, please don't hesitate to, as you log in, to go into the chat bar. If you're logged in, say, hey, my name is Vic, and I'm from Oregon, and the weather is soggy, or whatever. That helps us get to know who you are. Shelly, good to see you. Black to be back with the ukulele. Yeah, you're welcome. All right, guys, I'm going to disconnect here, and then I will see you in the next class. Just go back to the website, and it'll log you in. So, peace.